The night before my housewarming, my phone sliced the dark. A text from Linda. "We're skipping. Your sister Mia just moved." No call, no sorry, just pixels that felt like a slap. I stood in a kitchen that still smelled like fresh cedar and money I bled for, and blew out the candles I'd lit for them. Ever been erased in your own home? If it were you, what would you do? Beg, burn it down, or build something they can't touch? I typed 2 lies. "It's fine." My stomach nodded. Childhood hit rewind. Mia got glitter and cheers. I got, "Here's a notebook you like to write." Tonight's line landed like a punch. "Don't make it a big deal." That's when something in me snapped. Clean. If this hits you, tap like, drop a comment, subscribe. So our silence stops being their alibi divot. I remember the instant the blueprint snapped into place, right after Linda's text sliced the dark. "We're skipping. Your sister Mia just moved." No hello, no sorry, just a line that assumed forgiveness like it was my job. The candles I'd lit for them trembled on the island. My reflection in the glass looked like someone auditioning to be loved. I typed 2 lies, "It's fine," and felt my stomach knot. Ever been erased in your own home? If it were you, would you beg, blow it up, or build something they can't touch? I didn't cry. I clocked in. The house smelled like cedar oil and fresh paint, and my old cedar work table, the one I rescued at 14, waited by the fireplace like a witness. I rolled tracing paper across the big dining table and drew the first line as straight as a held breath. At the top, I wrote, "Handshaking, but stubborn. Everyone has a seat." Architecture raised me because wood doesn't lie. Load, span, tolerance, do the math, and the beam holds. Families aren't beams, they sag where secrets live. So I drafted a night where no one could be made small. Exact chair count, no head of table. Sightlines mapped so nobody's back faced the ocean. Pendants hung low for warmth instead of power. Plates the same diameter, forks the same weight, napkins without a special embroidery to signal favorites. I'll be honest, it felt like revenge, but the quiet kind, the kind that sounds like measuring tape. The more I drew, the more the ache turned into edges. In my head, Linda's chorus, "Don't make it a big deal." Shock line back, then stop making me disposable. Names filled the margins. I wrote down people polite rooms tend to erase. Rachel, who vanishes from RSVP lists. Eli, who's always the +1. Mrs. Alvarez, who talks loud because she learned to survive. Mr. Patel, who brings dessert and gets sent to the kids' table. I made place cards that all said the same sentence. You belong here, not calligraphy, not titles, not seating designed to flatter egos, just a promise you could pocket. If you're hearing this while driving or washing dishes, tell me in the comments. Who would you give a chair to tonight? I laid out the night like a nervous system. Music at 72 decibels so nobody has to shout. Heat at 72 degrees so nobody performs comfort. 2 service stations so the guest nearest the kitchen doesn't become staff. Conversation anchors, objects to land on when you feel yourself sliding toward an invisibility. A bowl of lemons, a cluster of eucalyptus. A photo of the shoreline catching late gold. Somewhere in there, I realized I was designing for the kid I used to be. The one who got a, "Here's a notebook you like to write," while someone else got the glittering box. A local chef, Maggie, said, "Yes." "What kind of dinner is this, Faye?" she asked, unloading crates of thyme and bread. "A correction," I said. She nodded and started a stock that smelled like patience. At the hardware store, the clerk asked if I was throwing a party. "No," and said, stapling cable to beam. "A redistribution." If your chest did that hot-cold ache hearing that, share this with someone who needs permission to take up space. Permission is contagious. By midnight, the blueprint was taped to the wall like a quiet manifesto, crowded with notes that read like a prayer. I labeled each pendant with people's names so I'd remember why the light falls where it does. I measured the table again. 15 chairs, equal distance. The ocean kept punching the cliff like it had something to say. I said it for both of us. This time, nobody eats alone. Then I set a place card with my own name at the middle, not the end. Hook for your heart. When the person trained to sit at the edge moves to the center, the whole structure shifts. If that idea sparks something in you, tap like, drop a comment, and send this to the friend who still stands in doorways at parties. Tonight, we are building a room that refuses to shrink people. The day of the dinner felt like a dress rehearsal for a verdict. I woke to wind shouldering the glass and the sea, carving its own bruised rhythm. Delivery trucks coughed up the hill. Maggie's team floated through the kitchen in soft-soled shoes, the air turning warm with garlic, citrus, and a stock so rich it seemed to hold you by the throat and reassure you at the same time. I walked the perimeter with a clipboard like a foreman on a site where the building was belonging. Shock line I kept swallowing. How many times did I set a table for people who never intended to show up? I checked sightlines again. No backs to the ocean, no shadowed corners. Candles unscented, so scent didn't choose favorites. Wildflowers gathered from the cliff. Nothing expensive, everything honest. The HGTV crew texted they wanted one last B-roll of the finished space. I said yes. It felt strangely right. Let the house be seen for what it was born to do. Hold people evenly. Guests began to arrive like tentative notes, resolving into melody. Rachel's twins pressed their faces to the glass and laughed at their own reflections. Eli arrived with a bottle and that look people wear when they expect to be told we're at capacity. Mrs. Alvarez clutched a pie and said, too loudly, I never know where to put myself. I took the pie and said, right here, Lay. I meant the counter, and I meant my life. We did not toast. We sat. Forks found plates. You could hear the ocean under everything like a faithful bass line. Conversation rose the way heat does, first shy, then sure. People told the unglamorous truths you only risk when you know the room won't punish you. My brother stopped inviting me when I got sober. My boss calls me kiddo in front of clients. My mother introduces me as the difficult one. Each confession landed and didn't explode. That is what a table can do when it is built to absorb impact. Halfway through the main course, I felt that old instinct to get up, to serve, to earn the right to be in the room. I pressed my palms flat against the oak and stayed. My name card waited where I put it. Dead center, undeniable. Maggie leaned in from the kitchen pass and whispered, you built this like a bridge. I whispered back, it was either that or drown. Cameras floated through quietly, catching steam, hands, light on wood, said, no interviews, no performance, just proof. The producer watched me adjust a chair by an inch and said, you move like you built it. I didn't answer. The truth didn't need me to narrate it. When dessert arrived, people traded seats without asking permission. That tiny mutiny broke something open. The laughter changed. The air got lighter. Even the ocean sounded less like a warning and more like applause. And here's the spike. My phone started buzzing on the counter, face down. One vibration, then a stack, the way a tide stacks white sun on rock. I knew without looking, Linda, my father, Mia. You're trending, the producer mouthed, eyes wide. I let it ring. If you're screaming pickups at your screen, ask yourself, who am I answering to and why? Drop your take in the comments. Would you have taken that call in front of the people who finally saw you? We ended the night with dishes stacked like soft architecture and a table that looked used, grateful. People hugged without apology, promised to return and actually meant it. Someone tucked their "you belong here" card into their pocket, like a receipt for a miracle. If this part made you breathe easier, hit like so it reaches the next person who needs a seat. Because the secret isn't the menu or the flowers. It's that we designed the room to refuse erasure. And for one night, it worked. Morning came mean and bright. 30+ missed calls. Texts layered like a defense brief. We saw the episode. Why didn't you tell us? Everyone's talking about it. Then the pivot that always finds me, and you embarrassed us. I brewed coffee so strong it felt like resolve and didn't answer. My grandmother called at noon. She has a voice that can fold a storm. They'll try to rewrite it, she said gently. Let the truth sit in the open. It's stronger there. Comment check. Have you ever watched someone try to edit your life to fit their comfort? When Linda finally reached me, I put the phone on speaker. Grandma set a mug down and stayed. Sweetheart, Linda began, sweetness like a weapon. I think there's been a huge misunderstanding about that text. We never meant to exclude you. We just assumed you wouldn't want to make a spectacle of a housewarming. You've always been so private. Shock line that cracked something in me. We excluded you for your own good. I looked at the ocean and said, you excluded me in your own words. I still have them. Silence. Then a familiar shuffle, the sound of rearranging the furniture of blame. "You're overreacting again," she said. "We've always supported you." In the background, my father muttered, "Drama." Grandma leaned toward the phone and cut through decades in one breath. "Judy, stop. I've watched you dim her since she was a child. You called it fairness. It was favoritism." You could hear the house on the other end go still. I didn't gloat. I didn't bleed. I let the truth stand upright and take up its square footage. We ended the call with no apology and something better: exposure. Not the public kind, the intimate kind where a story finally has windows. I turned off the phone and sat by the cedar table I built when I was 14. I ran my hand over the old scars like a rosary. That table has seen me at my smallest and refused to collapse. If you've got an object like that, tell me about it. What held you when people wouldn't? 2 nights later, I set 4 plates at that same table, just my parents, Mia, and me. No cameras, no place cards. No 14 friends standing in for a lifetime of missing chairs. The fire threaded the room with a quiet gold. My father complimented the food, which felt like a foreign language he was learning late. Mia studied the table, thumb tracing a groove in the wood. "I didn't know it hurt like that," she said, small. "I didn't know how to say it," I answered, softer. Nobody asked for forgiveness like a coupon. Nobody handed one out like a trophy. We ate. We let the silence be a room instead of a punishment. Linda glanced at the beams, fingers skimming the chair's edge. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "Different from what I imagined." I said, "It's home." The old choreography, me performing, them receiving, didn't show up. It was late and honest and a little clumsy. And for the first time, it felt like balance instead of triumph. Justice, not as fireworks, but as level ground. After they left, the waves kept their steady metronome. I stood on the terrace and breathed in the salt until the knot in my chest loosened. Sometimes the bravest sentence is the one you do not say. Sometimes the sharpest boundary is a chair you choose not to fill. If this story gave you language for your own lines, like, comment, and share it with the person who needs backup, not to drag anyone, to hold your ground without burning your house down, because silence is not surrender when you design it. It is structure, it is control, it is finally, mercifully yours. Here's where I landed. That night didn't make me a hero, it made me honest. I didn't slam doors. I didn't stage a showdown. I built a room that told the truth and then sat in it. And when the calls came, guilt, spin, you embarrassed us, I let the truth breathe instead of begging it to be smaller. Was I harsh? Maybe, or maybe I finally matched the volume of what I'd been handed my whole life. So tell me, am I in the wrong? What I learned is simple and hard. Boundaries aren't punishments, they're floor joists. If you don't set them, everything sags. Your time, your voice, your sense of self. I learned to stop auditioning for a seat at a table I built. I learned repair can sound like quiet, not applause. And I learned love without accountability is just management with nice lighting. If any of this hits home, do one small thing for yourself tonight. Save a chair with your name on it. If this story gave you words, tap like so it finds someone who needs them. Drop a comment. What boundary changed everything for you? Share this with the friend still whispering at the edge. And subscribe if you want more stories where silence isn't surrender, it's design.